Today is the demo session about this Python online training, which continue only weekends. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Srinivas. I have total 24 years of experience in IT. I started my career in 1999. I worked in multiple technologies, majorly database and data warehousing, business intelligence and data analytics. But still, initial days, I worked with application development with Visual Basic and ASP languages. Then a database developer. Then I worked in ETL. Since 9 years, as part of analytics, I'm working in Python. So NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and various Python application patterns implementations I participated. So in my experience, I worked with Python 2 series and Python 3 series also. This is simply all about me. So first of all, let us talk about our course. This is Python programming intended to make the programmers who want to become as a Python programmer, who want to become strong in programming with the Python. For them, it is useful. As part of this course, we do cover core Python and advanced Python both. Originally, Python is a Python. Nothing is like a core Python and advanced Python. So this classification is totally based on skill levels. Please, all of you, can you keep in mute? If you have any questions to ask, then you can unmute and ask me the questions. Normally, you people, please keep in mute. This core Python and advanced Python is only skill level classification. This classification is only based on skill level. The basic program logics and techniques, the basic programming mechanism covered in core Python. All the advanced features like object-oriented programming, functional programming, iterators, generators, decorators, exception handling, database connectivities, serialization, working with XML, working with JSON, regular expressions, multi-threading. These all things actually comes under advanced Python. But core Python and advanced Python both together combinedly, it is your complete Python programming skill. Somebody use the Python for just scripting purpose as part of their mainstream profile. Just they use Python for the small scripting purpose. For those people, core Python is enough. But who want to work as a Python programmer, a Python developer, definitely they required a core Python and advanced Python, that is complete Python programming. As part of our course, additionally, we do cover analytics libraries also. NumPy is a library, Pandas is a library, Matplotlib is a library. NumPy is for numerical information processing, NumPy arrays, and Pandas series and Pandas data frames. The Pandas library is for mainly data processing and data migration. And Matplotlib is for data visualization, presenting the data in the form of graphs. This is what coverage of our course. This is the technically what we cover as part of our course. I think the DurgaSoft will send you the detailed course curriculum to you. This is detailed course content. So introduction to Python, understanding about Python totally, and installing the Python and relevant tools like Anaconda installation, PyCharm installation, and other IDEs. Of course, we can work with Python using Eclipse and Microsoft Visual Studio Code Editor also. Then we start working with Python, how to work with Python using interpreter, using the command line interfaces, that is the interactive mode, and how to work with the Python using the script mode. Then various tools, the IDLE, PyCharm, Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, IPython, Qt Python is available. So how to work with various things. This is all getting started working with Python. Then language basics, variables, data types, operators, memory mechanism, various basic commands, and string operations, totally string operations, working with strings and everything. Then control structures, if statement, while loop. This is actually very important for programmers. This is program logics and techniques where there is a lot of scope for the implementing the logics. If you want to implement any logics, these are the statements. Then the Python specific built-in data structures, like Python list is a data structure, the detail about list and tuple, and the lambda functions, mainly how lambda expressions, this is also known as lambda functions. Then set, frozen set, working with the data structure, set and frozen set, and the dictionaries in Python. These all data structures and other collection objects like counter object, default dictionary, ordered dictionary, double-ended queue, heap queue. These all data structures, Python built-in data structures we discuss. Uh, this is what I say skill level 1, the basic level. Then intermediate level, concentrate on totally reusability of the code. So functions is the concept which is for reusability of the code. How to write a function, how to reuse the code, function returns, function takes parameters, their scope of accessibility, local, global, and the advanced concepts in the functions is functional programming concepts, that is treating the function as an object, passing function as a parameter to the another function, nested functions, function returns the function, iterators, generators, decorators. Of course, this is functions chapter only, but this is related to advanced concepts, so functional programming concepts, what I mean to say. Then comprehension techniques, shorthand techniques of coding, comprehension technique, list comprehension, tuple comprehension, set comprehension, these all. And the functional programming abilities like map, reduce, filter, built-in functions of the functional programming. Then we go for object-oriented programming. Extensively, we cover object-oriented programming with so many examples, because the people might be expertised in object-oriented programming with Java, C#, C++, like that. But in Python, implementation of object-oriented programming is some have different comparatively other languages. So detail we discuss about object-oriented programming, implementing encapsulation, implementing polymorphism, implementing inheritance, various every feature, built-in functions, system-defined functions, overloading, overriding. These all we cover extensively. And modules and packages, modularity, developing our own modules, our own packages, publishing our own libraries, how these packages can be published as libraries, these things we discuss. This is totally focused on reusability, main concept in the skill level 2, functions and object oriented programming. Other shorthand techniques of the Python functions and data structures and modules and packages. This totally concentrate on reusability. Then further advanced things is working with files, general files, and that is binary files and text files, and various modules to work with, sys module, OS module, these all things, exception handling, uh, descriptors, multi-threading, database connectivities. Actually, I do show database connectivities to connect with Oracle, to connect with MS SQL Server, to connect with MySQL. By writing your Python program, how to communicate with the database and process the SQL queries and deal with the data from the database, how to deal with the structured data from your Python program by connecting to the relational database management system. The same way you can connect with the Teradata and other databases also, whatever you want. Then regular expressions, serialization. As part of serialization, pickling, XML, JSON, how to deal with binary files, how to deal with XML files, how to deal with JSON files, these things, and how to perform the unit testing. How do we use Python as part of unit testing and logging? Object relational mapping. This is one of the different concept, and exclusively we have to focus. Of course, networking optional, don't worry about it. Who is exclusively looking for the career in networking streamline, IoT streamline, those people require this. The data analytics related topics like Python arrays, NumPys, pandas, matplotlib, these things we do cover. Of course, as this detailed course curriculum, it has shown as an optional, but this is not optional, this is mandatory. We do cover as part of our course. Why do I specified this is optional? Nowadays, Python become an essential programming skill for every IT engineer who want to go looking career in DevOps. They required Python. Who is looking for career in AWS? They required Python. If you are going to be as a DevOps engineer or AWS engineer, for that career support, you required a Python language. Then you need not to worry about this NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. You're supposed to concentrate on a separate library, that is Boto 3. Suppose you are going to be as a big data engineer, Hadoop, Spark technology, you are going to work in that. Definitely Python is required. For that, you require a separate library, that is PySpark, PyHadoop, those kind of specialized additional libraries are required. If you want to go with the data analytics and the data engineering, data analytics, data science part, of course, this NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, these things are useful. Apart from this, couple of more libraries also required for their machine learning and artificial intelligence and additional things, statistical analysis. Okay, this is the complete course curriculum. What do we cover as part of our course? So today, I will give you overview of the Python, like what is Python. So let us talk about Python. Let us begin with the very first question. That is,
Sorry,
what
Srini.
is?
I have one
Yeah, yeah.
question.
Please go ahead.
So yeah,
Please go ahead.
currently I'm working as a big data developer. So will you cover the PySpark as well, or like what is the process
No,
to
no.
learn?
PySpark is a separate thing. This course is totally delivering the programming part of the Python. Let me tell you how the additional libraries. The specialized libraries depends on your specialization. Separately, you have to learn. It is not a general part of that. Okay. For example, you see the Python. Well, this is the major confusion lot of people will have about the Python. Uh, Python is useful in every technology. Okay, every domain. Nowadays, everyone is using Python, whether it is a big data engineer or whether it is data scientist, whether you are a test engineer, whether you are cloud engineer, whether you are a cryptography person, blockchain, everywhere Python is required. That is specialization, I would like to say. But every person is required programming ability, capability of writing programs with Python. Without that programming ability, how can you use Python as part of data science? No, it's not possible. Without programming ability, how can you use Python as part of DevOps and AWS? Not possible. Big data? Not possible. Testing? Not possible. So Python programming is one of the essential skill for everyone. That is something like our MBBS course. Once you complete MBBS, you become as a doctor. Once you complete our course, you become as a Python programmer. Then after MBBS, you supposed to depends on your streamline. You supposed to take specialization like heart specialist, kidney specialist, bone specialist, nurse specialist, brain specialist, like that. So after completion of our Python programming course, if you want to go for big data, PySpark, of course, Hadoop no one is using. Spark is better than Hadoop implementation. That's why everyone is using Spark. That's why PySpark you're supposed to learn. Suppose you are going to be an AWS cloud engineer like that. You're supposed to learn Boto 3. Suppose you are going for a data analyst, this NumPy Pandas Matplotlib, and further data science related modules, SciPy, TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, these kind of libraries you're supposed to learn. That is a specialization part. Okay, I think you understand what exactly we do cover as part of our course.
Yes, Srini.
PySpark,
Thanks.
Boto, these kind of specialized things is not covered in this. For this course, there is no prerequisite. Sir, to learn Python, should I have any prerequisite? No, no prerequisite. You can start your IT, first step into IT, you can start with Python course. So here you will learn programming. By the end of the course, you will be get in touch with various technologies like database technology. Several things you will be aware as part of this course. So it is wonderful starting if you want to, if you are a non-IT background person, you are getting to IT, beginning with Python. It's really going to be a wonderful beginning for your further technology upgradation and everything. So let us begin. My very first question is, what is Python? Here, my question is not ended here. Is it scripting language, or is it a programming language? What is Python? See, this is everywhere you might be listening this. Somebody says Python scripting. Somebody says Python programming. Somebody consider Python as a scripting language. Somebody consider Python as a programming language. What exactly the Python is? Is it a scripting language or is it a programming language? Due to historical blur between the scripting languages and the general purpose programming languages, lot of people consider Python as a scripting language. but originally, in fact, Python is not a scripting language. In fact, Python is not a scripting language. Python is a general purpose programming language, but this Python can work nicely as a scripting language. Very simple conclusion. Python is not a scripting language. Python is a programming language. It is general purpose programming language. Of course, you can use Python for scripting purpose also. For the programming purpose, you can use Python. For the scripting purpose also, you can use Python. Python works nicely as a scripting language. Ultimately, immediate question is going to be, sir, I don't know what is scripting language, what is programming language. You are telling scripting languages and programming languages. What exactly scripting languages? What exactly programming languages? Very simple. Scripting language is also a variety of programming. Scripting languages also a variety of programming languages. So here, scripting language is lightweight, liberal, less code intensive, very simple and easy programming languages are scripting languages. The main motto of making the scripting languages are a non-programming expert, a non-programmer also must be able to write some sort of scripts. So main purpose of these scripting languages are for developing the automation scripts, not for application development. What are the scripting languages? Very easy in coding, simple and easy in coding. Scripting languages are lightweight, they are less code intensive, liberal. But these scripting languages are not useful for application development. Scripting languages are mostly used for automation scripts. So what are the scripting languages? The lot of people know scripting languages. JavaScript, VB Perl script, Ruby script. These all are actually scripting languages. But please remember the point. Do not forget, using scripting languages, we are not able to develop applications. Application development is not possible. Scripting languages are mostly useful for automation purpose.
What
Then
meaning of
programming.
lightweight? I'm sorry, sir. What is the meaning of lightweight? Can you explain a little bit in layman word?
JavaScript, there are both are there, right? Java is a language. Java comes with Java virtual machine. Java virtual machine includes JRE, Java runtime environment. That includes JIT compiler. This is complete Java language you installed in your computer, in your operating system. JVM is readily available to process the Java programs, to work with the Java programs. But where the JavaScript resides? JavaScript resides in web browser, basically, I think so. Of course, not only web browser, basically, initially, JavaScript is developed as a browser-based front-end scripting language. JavaScript resides in the browser. What is browser? Browser is a small software here. The JavaScript is a programming which should fit in the browser. It should not be heavyweight for the browser, right? What I mean to say, due to JavaScript, browser performance must not be degraded. It should not be a burden to the browser. Not only browser, somewhere in some other tool. Tomorrow, I'm developing a software, my software tool I develop myself. In my software tool, I'm expecting the scripting, means programming ability, some sort of programming ability I'm expecting. I want to embed the scripting language into my tool, not in my system. right? So it should not be burden to the tool. It should not impact the efficiency of the tool. So very lightweight. Got it? Something like if you see some sort of Facebook you install in your Android phone, right? If you search for Facebook app in Android, Facebook Lite, two series you identified. Light in the sense the lightweight version. Okay, so similar. Visual Basic is the language. You know, VB4, VB5, VB6. Those are before .NET. Then after that, VB.NET. This is Visual Basic language. So same syntax, so same coding, but lightweight edition of the Visual Basic VB script is available, right?
Sir, I think
This is
can I just tell you
yeah.
something? Not tell you, but just can I add something? Isn't the
Go
lightweight
ahead.
is for where the memory consumption is very less? Say example, you're saying JavaScript.
Yes, yes,
JavaScript, whether
yes,
need
yes,
any compiler, whether
yes,
need
yes.
any
Obvious,
installation, drivers, blah.
obviously.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, because then only we are not able to develop the applications. Otherwise, if it is a full-fledged programming language, we can develop the applications, right? And moreover, JavaScript, VB script, Perl script, any scripting language you see, variable declaration is not mandatory. If you want, you declare. If you don't want, leave it internally. The scripting language will automatically create the variables, right? And a dynamic allocation is always allowed. And coding rules are not that strict. Very liberal in coding rules. That is scripting language. Examples: JavaScript, VBScript, Perl script. Of course, several other scripting languages also available. If you want to develop any software, any business application, web application or mobile application or GUI desktop application, if you want to develop any game, if you want to develop a software like a browser, messenger, okay, and some sort of spreadsheet softwares, this kind of any kind of software you want to develop, you want to create a new software with new functionality, development purpose, definitely you have to go with programming languages like Java, C Sharp, COBOL, Fortran, Pascal, Python, C, C++. These all comes under programming languages. Simply remember, scripting languages mostly for automation purpose, not for software development. If you want to develop software, definitely you have to work with the languages. This is the comparison between what is scripting language and what is programming language. When we are talking about programming languages, definitely we have to talk about low level programming languages and high level programming languages. Your
Sorry,
mission,
one question, Srini.
go
So
ahead,
the
go ahead.
scripting language syntax and the programming language syntax are entirely different, or both are
Similar,
same?
similar, depends. Suppose you take Java and JavaScript. JavaScript syntaxes are similar to Java syntaxes only.
Okay.
Okay.
Slight difference.
VB script and Visual Basic. VB script syntaxes and VB syntaxes both are similar.
No.
Okay. We can't say that is obviously the VB script is a separate scripting language. Syntaxes are similar to VB, but it is not exactly everything same as VB. No, it is not VB, it is VB script, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but mostly 99 more than 90% of syntaxes of this statement is same. Yes, that is JavaScript is derived from Java. That's why it is the same. VB script is derived from VB. That's why it is same. Perl script is not derived from some language. It's not having any parent language, right? So it has its own syntaxes. Okay. Next, in your computer, microprocessor is the device to process any operation, any program, any task. This is hardware. This is hardware. Your hardware can understand only machine code, that is low level code. Hardware can understand only low level code. that is machine code. These are low-level languages, low-level programming languages. Binary language, which made with the zeros and ones, that is understandable to hardware. Binary language is a low-level programming language, hardware understandable code. And assembly language is something better than the binary language, which comes with some symbols, uh, some format of writing the code and everything, but still it is hardware understandable. Machine level code is the low level code. So binary language and assembly language, these are the low level programming languages. Low level languages are close to hardware. These are understandable to hardware. Microprocessor can directly understand the low level code and execute that. This is hardware specific code. But to work with low level languages, we are, as a human being, we can't work with the low level code, the combination of zeros and ones and assembly language symbols. It's very difficult for the human being to work with low level code. That's the reason. Moreover, with such a great difficulty, you are taking that as a challenging situation, a low level. At least I want to do something. I want to perform A is equal to something, B is equal to something, A plus B. This I want to do. This is my challenge. But still, it is very difficult. Lot of technical, hardware specific technical details you have to remember to work in low level. These are the low-level programming languages. Low-level code is only understandable to hardware. It is not understandable to human being. So we are the programmers. We want to write the code. We want to develop something to operate your computer, to do some tasks in your computer. Definitely you want to write the program. So programmer friendly languages are high level programming languages. In high level programming languages, commands are in human English. So these are programmer friendly. All commands are English keywords. Every command follows its own syntax, right? So programmer can easily write the code, easily develop the program and maintain the program, fix the issues, anything, upgrade the program, this all. So this is English code, human language, human understandable code, English code. Program is group of lines of code, multiple commands, multiple instructions together, multiple commands together is your program. This is comfortable for the human being. But this high level code, this code is high level code, English code. This is high level code, English code, only understandable to human being. This high level code is not understandable to the hardware. This high level code is not understandable to the hardware. This is programmer friendly. This is programmer friendly, but machine is not able to understand this. Definitely, this high level code must be translated into low level. This high level code should be translated into low level, right? Understand? So the low level code is understandable to hardware. Hardware will process the low level code and gives you a reply in the low level only. That is again translated into high level. So reply back to the user in high level code only, English only, English instructions only. This translation mechanism, translating high level code into low level reply to high level, this translation mechanism can be done in two ways. One is using interpreter, second one is using compiler. So a programming language may use interpreter for the translation. Such programming languages are known as interpreter-based programming languages. A programming language may use compiler. Such programming languages are known as compiler-based programming languages. So high level programming languages, those commands are in human English. It is very easy for the user, very easy for the programmer to write the code and edit the code and upgrade the code and test the code and fix the code, maintain the code. These high level programming languages follows a strong abstraction. It hides all the machine level complexities from the programmer. High level programming languages hides all the machine level complexities from the programmer. When you are a programmer writing programs using any high level programming language, you need not to worry about the low level things, machine level things. You need not to worry about hardware information. You need not to worry about machine level internal resources. Everything is arg memory allocation, deallocation. Most of the things are organized by the programming language only. It hides all the machine level complexities from the programmer, makes your program writing, developing the applications easy. This is highly comparatively what is high level programming language and low level programming language. Just quickly go through. Low level coding is machine level code. It is machine friendly. Of course, comparatively high level, it is high memory efficient because it is straightforward, directly understandable to hardware. It is little bit better, high efficient in memory management, but it is very difficult to understand. It is hardware comfortable, not human comfortable. It is complex to debug the code, complex to maintain the code. It is machine dependent, hardware specific, machine dependent. Of course, assembly language uses assembler for translation. This is low level. But high level code is user friendly, programmer friendly, easy to understand, easy to debug the code, simple to maintain the applications, maintain the source code. It is portable. You can run your program on any operating system, any platform. So this is portable, runnable on any platform, but you require either compiler or interpreter. The language uses compiler, those known as compiler based programming languages. The language uses interpreter, those are known as interpreter based programming languages. This is what about low level and high level. I hope all of you understand. If any questions about low level and high level?
Sir, hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sir, what is debug, sir? Hello.
Identifying the hidden errors, tracking the program execution flow, identifying the flow mistakes, logical errors going, fixing the errors, that is debugging.
Okay.
Identifying the logical errors. Suppose I wrote a program, I gave it to you. You will say there is a lot of defects in this program. How do you identify the defects? If you debug it, that is, you will be able to identify it, right? Otherwise, I want to check my program is working as per the flow of execution. My program execution flow is as expected or not. I want to verify myself. Debugging is the process. Debugging is the verification, self-checking. Okay.
Okay.
But Python, here high-level languages and low-level languages we understand. High-level languages are programmer friendly. High-level languages supports strong abstraction that hides all the machine level complexities. But Python is actually comes under very high-level programming languages. What is this very high-level programming languages? These very high level programming languages supports very high level of abstraction, more abstraction. It is not only hiding machine level complexities, it is also hiding logic development complexities. It is not only hiding machine level complexities, also hiding logic development complexities. You might be discussed about Python. Abstraction is hiding. Abstraction in the sense hiding. Hiding the machine level complexities is abstraction. Showing something, hiding something is what abstraction. Necessary things will be provided whatever is not necessary for you, that is not showing you, not provided the access, but internally they are working for you, that is hiding, that is abstraction. Got it? Suppose best example for the abstraction is your ATM machine.
Huh?
In please keep yourself in mute, guys. Okay. So if you go to ATM machine, internal currency slides, and the currency counting equipment and CPU inside the ATM machine, you are not able to see. Those all are hidden. That is abstraction. But you need to operate the ATM. So interface is given, monitor is given, keypad is given, card insertion slot is given, currency collection slot is given. Those all are accessibility is provided. Got it? But here Python is actually, we say, very high level programming language. It's not only hiding machine level complexities, also hiding logic development complexities. When you talk about Python with your friends, with your seniors, okay, some working professionals, maybe you talk about Python, but everyone says Python is easy. Everyone says Python is very easy programming language. Python is very easy. Yes, really, Python is very easy. If you check, if you concentrate on how Python is easy, what way Python is easy, how can we say Python is very easy? Okay, if you ask, everyone says that they do compare with Java, they do compare with .NET, C#. If you want to develop a task, in case you develop the task in Java, let us assume that there are 300 lines of code taken in Java. The same task, if you develop in Python, you can finish it within 25 to 30 lines of code. That way, Python is very easy. But please understand, 25 to 30 lines code of Python is worth enough to perform like a 300 lines of code logic. Got it? So how powerful these statements are. How flexibility the language, a lot of burden is taken by the language. Language is not giving you the burden. The statements are internally doing a lot of things for you unknowingly. But simple statements you are writing, big activities, big tasks you are finishing, right? So the Python is less code intensive, goal oriented programming language, less code intensive. So it reduces complexity of the code, logics. It reduces amount of source code required, a number of lines of statements required. It reduces. That's why Python is very high level programming language. But very often, generally, Python also, we say it is high level programming language. Especially, we doesn't say it is a very high level, but normally we say Python is also high level programming language. But please recognize, Python is an intelligent programming language. Make the things easy for the programmer. Make the things easy for the programmer. Coding complexity is reduced. Number of lines of source code is reduced. Please remember, guys, in any situation, whether it is your real life or other than IT, wherever you go, when the things become easy, scope gets increased. When the things become easy, obviously scope gets increases. So what is Python? Simply to say, Python is a very easy programming language. Python is general purpose programming language. Python is a very high level programming language. This Python can also work as a scripting language. This is what Python. So right from the beginning, you are using a word that is general purpose programming language. What do you mean general purpose programming language? We listen about several languages: C language, C++, Java, C#, several languages names we have listened. Even a couple of languages we completed as part of graduation, and separately we took training, these all. But that is a language. But why do you say Python is a general purpose programming language? What do you mean general purpose programming? See, multi-purpose programming languages. You have to understand, first of all, multi-purpose programming languages. There are a couple of languages exclusively meant for a particular purpose, to fulfill need of a specific purpose. Those languages are specific purpose programming languages, particular purpose programming languages. For example, PHP. PHP is only useful for one purpose, that is for web development. PHP is only for web development, right? You know, before 15 years, you have a D2K, Developer 2000, Oracle D2K, Microsoft Visual Basic 5, VB6, those languages. sorry guys. Those languages, D2K, Visual Basic, I'm talking about before .NET. Those are only to develop GUI, graphical user interface, client server applications, two-tier client server applications. Window, in the window, text box, list box, buttons, and event driven programming performs activities. That's all. Very simple. GUI applications, Windows based GUI, client server applications. That's all. That is the purpose of that. There are a couple of languages exclusively for mathematical calculations. There are a couple of languages are exclusively for scientific operations. This was the situation earlier days. So these languages are known as specific purpose programming languages. But the programming language, single programming language, which can fulfill needs of wide varieties, multiple purposes, which can fulfill more than one purpose. Any programming language, the programming language, which can fulfill more than one purpose. The same language can be used for mathematical calculations. The same language we can useful for scientific operations, research work. The same language is useful for developing the applications, software applications. Such languages are known as multi-purpose programming languages. Got it. So Java, C#, these all are multi-purpose programming languages. Python is a general purpose programming language. Such multi-purpose programming language which can fulfill needs of wide varieties of domains and technologies are called general purpose programming language. That's the reason you see the Python supports web development. Python supports Windows based application development. Python supports scientific applications. Python supports DevOps technologies. Python supports cloud computing. Python supports grid computing. Python supports big data. Python supports artificial intelligence. Python supports neural networks, right? Python supports testing. These are various technical domains, right? So the language which can fulfill more than one purpose and fulfill the needs of wide varieties of domains are called general purpose programming languages. Python is a general purpose programming language. Python is not only multi-purpose, it is multi-paradigm programming language also. Python is not only multi-purpose, it is multi-paradigm. Okay, first of all, let us see what purpose we do use Python. Python is useful for what purpose? What are the various purposes we do use Python? If you see, what purpose we do use Python, see, using Python you can develop web applications, web development. For the web development, what you required? Python language is required. This is essential. Python language is compulsory. Python language is required plus Django. Django is a web development framework. Django, otherwise a Flask, otherwise Web2Py, any web development framework is required. So Python language plus a web development framework, together you can develop web applications. Suppose you want to become as a web developer, Python web developer, Python language is compulsory, then you're supposed to learn Django also. GUI desktop applications, these are client server applications. Yes, Python is useful to do this. Python can do this. For this, you required Python language plus a library. tkinter is the library. tkinter is the library which can make the window, text boxes, list boxes, buttons, and these all things, develop the GUI application. So additional library, one library is required, tkinter. tkinter makes you to develop the GUI applications, Windows based applications. Data science, see, this data science is a simple term, but it is like a ocean. Data science includes data, see, data processing, mathematics, statistics, science, then data engineering, data analytics, statistics, mathematics, science, then machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, natural languages, neural networks. These are all together, various analytics together is the data science. It's like a ocean. In this ocean, you may fit with the data engineer, or you may fit with data analyst, or you may fit with machine learning engineer. Some specialization in this. One person whole and soul data scientist, not possible. It's impossible, guys. So several libraries: NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, SciPy, scientific Python, SciPy, TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, approximately depends on the streamline. Nearly 15 libraries are there which is related to data science. Big data, Spark technology, PySpark is the library. So in this, whatever streamline you take, Python language is common. Python plus PySpark. Okay, scientific application, Python plus SciPy. Test automation, Python is enough. Automation script, testing automation purpose, simple Python is enough. Automation, functional testing, nowadays, functional automation testing tool, Selenium is popular, open source functional automation testing tool. So far, industry is used Selenium with Java. Even still today, Selenium with Java is going on. But now industry is asking that, are you able to work with Selenium with Python? So as a test scripting language, as a automation test scripting language, as part of functional testing tool, you can use Python. And cloud computing, already I told you, AWS, Azure, GCP, in all the cloud platforms, definitely Python skills are required. But AWS people require Boto 3. Okay, Azure directly their own implementation of Python they implemented. Networking, the various networking related libraries, OS library, operating system. For example, system administrators managing the system resources, sys library, OS library, these libraries are there. So system administrators, they can write scripts to their administration task automation. Yes, they can do it. IoT, Internet of Things. Of course, this is networking technique. IoT, if you are in US, you can control the TV or refrigerator or AC in your house for your parents, which is located in village. Yes, you can do that. Several IoT related equipments we are enjoying nowadays, right? The database applications, yes, you can develop database application. Python is capable of communicating with Oracle. For this, a library is there, cx underscore Oracle, MS SQL Server Python. These all libraries are available to communicate with Teradata and everything, right? So various automation applications you can develop: administration scripts, networking scripts, gaming scripts, animation scripts, and many more. These all we can do with Python. What we can do with Python? Web application development, GUI application development, data analytics, scientific application, test automation, automation applications, admin script automation, networking script automation, gaming automation, animation. Python we can use in big data. Python we can use in data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, etc. DevOps people require Python, AWS people require Python, blockchain people require Python. Simply to say, every IT engineer, Microsoft platform or non-Microsoft platform, any technology you go, whether you are a test engineer or hardware engineer or network engineer or AWS engineer, whatever, every IT engineer should have the Python knowledge essentially, compulsory. Everyone should have Python programming ability. Lot of people used to ask the advice, sir, I want IT job, but I don't want coding. Yes, take data warehousing, business intelligence, data analytics. Coding is not there, but slowly you have to use this tool. In this tool, programming is the required. Okay, so data analytics, data science, everywhere you require coding. Even you go to testing, manual testing, no coding, but still automation testing is required. Without automation testing, no job. So automation testing is Selenium. In the Selenium, test scripting language is there. What is the test scripting language? Java or Python. So Selenium with Java, Selenium with Python. Wherever you go nowadays, programming skills, some have at least script development level programming abilities are essential. So Python is involved in every sector. Python is involved in every sector. So Python programming is essential nowadays for every IT engineer, right? This is what about Python. So what is Python? Python is multi-purpose and multi-paradigm. Python is multi-paradigm. So programming paradigms here. Paradigm in the sense approach, methodology of writing the program, the style of writing the program, style of writing the code, that is paradigm. There are various programming paradigms. One is procedural programming paradigm. One is procedural programming paradigm. Okay. So what do you mean procedural programming paradigm? C language supports procedural programming. C language supports procedural programming. Simple style of writing code. Very easy way of writing the program is procedural programming. Is easy style of writing the code, making variables, writing the code, executing line by line, control structures for controlling flow of execution and implementing our logics, and functions for the reusability of the code. Very simple style. Almost of course almost all scripting languages are supporting this procedural programming paradigm. Yes, the programming language which supports the procedural programming paradigm, those languages are known as procedural programming languages. Best example for the procedural programming language is C language and scripting languages. Okay. Yes, Python supports procedural programming. Yes, you can use Python as a procedural programming language for your procedural programming developments. Next one is object-oriented programming. The main principle behind object-oriented programming, one point you have to remember, treat object, deal with the object, real world object, simulate the real world objects in your program as a code object, deal with the objects. Object contains attributes and activities, properties and methods. Very simple. So when you are working with object oriented programming, definitely you have to implement object oriented programming principles like encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, that is what data binding, data abstraction, data hiding, overloading, overwriting. These all principles. Only three: data, encapsulation, second one is inheritance, third one is polymorphism. These are the three main principles. Of course, encapsulation includes the data binding and data abstraction. Data hiding is part of the data abstraction, right? This polymorphism includes overloading and overriding. So method overloading, operator overloading, overriding, various concepts. Mainly only three. So you're supposed to implement object oriented programming principles. So obviously the style of writing code is going to be differ. You're supposed to define the class, make the object, deal with the object. The style of writing program code is different. That is object oriented programming paradigm. The style of writing code is little different. The languages which supports object oriented programming paradigm, those languages are known as object oriented programming languages. You know, C++ supports procedural programming as well object oriented programming both. Java supports only object oriented programming. C# supports only object oriented programming. These are the object oriented programming languages. Next, functional programming languages. Next, functional programming languages. Please listen the term functional programming. You know, data science people, most of the times they talk about R language, R language. You know, you listen the name R language. R language is important for the data science. Data science, who is learning data science, first they learn R language. That is statistically good language, but our language is a functional programming language. You know, big data, Spark technology combination, a Scala language is functional programming language. In functional programming, that it treats everything is an object. Even function is also an object. Class is also an object. Everything is an object. Nothing is primitive. Nothing is primitive. 20 is the value. No, 20 is the object. That is the treatment of functional programming languages. It consider everything is an object. In functional programming languages, everything is an object. This statement don't forget, because Python is also functional programming language. In Python, everything is an object. Yes, this statement is true. It supports two different varieties of objects: mutable, immutable. Mutable objects, immutable objects. Two different varieties of objects. So then writing the code around dealing with these objects, some magical logical implementation, magical coding is possible with functional programming. A function you can pass as a parameter to the another function. A function returns a function. This kind of magical code is possible with functional programming languages. That style of coding is only possible with the functional programming only. So functional programming paradigm, the language which supports a functional programming paradigm, those languages are known as functional programming languages. R language is example for functional programming. Scala is functional programming language. Python is a functional programming language like this. And next, modular programming is another paradigm. Modular programming paradigm. Modula is the language which is modular, pure modular programming language. Of course, nowadays modularity is the feature every language supports. What is this modular programming? Instead of writing entire code in single program, single file, thousands of lines of code, 5,000 lines, 50,000 lines, instead of writing in single program, write the code in multiple programs, reuse them in each other, That is modularity, modular programming. Of course, Modula is the modular programming language. This modularity feature is actually derived from the Modula, but every language nowadays, every language supports modularity. Modules and packages concept belongs to this modularity. And Python is very easy, very liberal, like a scripting language. So easiness is taken from scripting languages. Okay, so Python you can use as an object-oriented programming language for your object-oriented developments. Python you can use as a procedural programming language for your procedural developments. Python you can use as a functional programming for your functional programming developments, like data science and big data. Spark language. Python is functional programming. That's why it is supported those platforms. Then modularity. Yes, Python is modular programming. So these all abilities together, you can write single program. In one program, you can put all these abilities, all these paradigms. So this Python is a multi-paradigm. Python is multi-purpose and multi-paradigm.
Yeah,
Python
sorry,
is
Srini.
intra.
I have. So
Yeah,
procedure
yeah,
and
go ahead.
function both are same only, right?
No. Procedural programming language, object-oriented programming language, they treat a function is a block of executable statements. When you call the function, those statements will be executed. That's all. But in functional programming, function is also an object. Okay? Understand? I will exclusively concentrated on that. Don't worry. The iterators, generators, decorators, these all are possible due to functional programming. The mapping, reducing, these functions are there. Filter, map, reduce, some specialized functions are there. Those all are possible due to functional programming. In functional programming, everything is an object. Function is also an object. But non-functional programming languages like C, C++, Java, C Sharp, a function you can write, method you can write, but that is just a block of executable statement. That is not treated as an object. Understand? That's why some special magical code is possible in functional programming languages. I will
Sir,
exclusively
can I
focus
ask you
on
some?
that.
Sir, can I
Go
ask you
ahead, go
some?
ahead, please.
Isn't it the functional programming paradigm is used in Java as well as in C Sharp? In Java, we use lambda expressions to use the
Of course,
function where
but
we can.
lambda function is there, right? Java
Yes.
supports primitives or not? Java supports primitives or not? Integer, float, these are primitives. Java treat it as
Sir,
a value, right? Java treat it as a
yes.
value, right? Understand? Suppose I am taking 25 is a number. In the memory model, I will discuss exclusively about this. Python memory model and other language memory model, I will discuss. Then you will be able to understand. Suppose 25 is the value in a Java point of view, C point of view, C Sharp point of view, anywhere. But in Python point of view, 25 is the object. Okay? Understand? 25 is just integer value, nothing special. But still, in Python point of view, 25 is an object. This is integer object. Primitives are not there. Primitive data types are not supported by Python. In Python, everything is class. I will show you small example to you. Let me open Python IDLE. I'm opening an Python interface, that is Python IDLE. Just I will show you the difference. A is equal to 25. What is A? Just after all 25, right?
Yeah.
What is the type of A? What is the data type of A? Is it the
Integer
type or is it the class? What is this?
class.
Hmm? It's not
Class.
a type. It is a class. Int is a class. Int is not a type. Int is a
Okay.
class. Understand?
Yes.
Got
So
it.
then you
Of
make the
course,
object of the class. Okay, good.
got it. These things extensively, very detailed, I will explain in the first chapter. The Python memory model. Separately, I will spend for 2 hours about Python memory model with respect to each data type. What is comparatively other languages, how Python is different in this case. That is the Python mindset. If you not clearly understand the Python memory model, further when you are going for iterators, generators, decorators, functions, advanced concepts, the trickiness, you will confuse lots. If you understand clearly about this memory model and this concept, then only. So this is what exactly the Python is. Python is multi-paradigm. And one more point here I want to address, Python is interpreter-based programming language. A lot of people says Python is interpreter and compiler combination. Both are there. Of course, what they said is correct. But please understand in elaborate manner, Python, basic Python language, it is interpreter only. Next class, tomorrow's class, I will discuss about what is the process of interpreter execution flow architecture. What is the compiler execution flow architecture? C, C++ languages are compilers. Okay. Interpreter execution flow, compiler execution flow, comparatively I'll explain. And Java C# execution flow architecture is different. They are dependent on the intermediate code called bytecode, and internally JIT compilers are working. So Python simple interpreter execution flow, compiler execution flow of C, C++, and architecturally how it is different comparatively Java compiler and C# compiler, how it is different. These architectural differences I will explain you comparatively. Then I will conclude why Python is still interpreter only. Then we have other distributions of the Python, other editions of the Python for the extensibility. Python is extensible to Java. Python is extensible to .NET. Python is extensible to C language, C Python, Jython, Java Python, Iron Python, this Ruby Python, PyPy, these other distributions are there. So what is the specialty of that? What is the extensibility? In this discussion, I will give you conclusion why Python is interpreter only, why people says Python is interpreter and as well compiler also, what situations the people says, that extensively I'll explain. Just I'm letting you know, now Python is interpreter based programming language. And Python supports interactive mode and script mode, both the modes. What is interactive mode? What is script mode? That we discuss. Python is a pure 100% object-oriented programming language. Again, I'm putting a statement here. Java is object-oriented programming language, but Java is not pure 100% object-oriented programming language because Java supports primitives. In Java, data types are there. Everything is not object. C# also. But Python, it is pure object-oriented. Everything is an object. It is functional programming language too. That's the purpose it become pure object-oriented. What is pure object-oriented? I will explain. Already I have shown you. In Java, 25 is 25. In C#, 25 is 25. It is an integer. It is a data type, simple data type. But Python, it is a class, integer object, not the integer type. Okay, that is a major difference. You can notice that. So it is multi-purpose, multi-paradigm, interpreted, interactive, object-oriented, very high-level programming language, which is used in wide varieties of applications. This is what Python. Just basically, we understand what is Python. Why Python, what are the Python application areas, these things we understood today. And tomorrow we'll continue discussion, further things and installation of the Python, various tools and those interfaces, those things we continue tomorrow. Finally, any questions, anybody, any questions finally as of today? Please go ahead. This document
Class
I will
time is
give you
good.
guys.
Sir, I have one question very quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, this course is about advanced and core Python. That's it. So
Core
will you
Python.
teach us?
Actually, in Amirpet, we have only core Python and advanced Python, right?
Yes.
So as per that terminology, we begin from scratch, very beginning, by keeping very fresher, non-technical background fresher in the mind.
Okay.
We cover until very advanced concepts. I told you, including data analytics related NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib also I do cover. Okay.
Okay.
Very advanced also. But
So,
as part of my course, I divided the course into 3 skill levels: basic
mhm,
skill level, intermediate
mhm,
skill level, and advanced skill level, right? Skill level 1,
mhm.
skill level 2, skill level 3. That's what I have shown you. This is my detailed course curriculum. Okay. Skill level 1. Skill level 2 is totally reusability of the code. Okay, skill level 3 is further all advanced. So actually the concepts core and advanced is spread across these 3 skill levels. Okay, so forget about core Python and advanced Python. As per your information, as part of our course complete, right from the scratch to very advanced concepts of the Python will be covered. Okay, sir, I want PySpark, that is separate course. I want Django, that is separate course. Okay, as part of my coverage concern.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. I have one question.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. I have a question regarding to scripting language. As you said, scripting language is mostly used for automation, right? Why we should not use Python to do automation thing?
Yes. Python act as scripting language also. Python is only language which is the programming language can work as a scripting language. Java is separate, JavaScript is separate. VB language is separate, VB script is separate. But Python is Python. You can use it for the programming, you can use it for the scripting purpose.
Okay. Thank you.
For both the purpose, you can use Python. Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions, guys?
So duration of this course is that is for weekends like Saturday and Sunday, right?
40 hours. Minimum 40 hours required every weekend. Approximately 3 hours Saturday, 3 hours Sunday. Of course, this week only 1 hour demo sessions. Next week, I think 2 hours, because people should mold for sitting for three hours, right? Initial 1 or 2 weeks, 2 hours Saturday, 2 hours Sunday. After that, 3 hours Saturday, 3 hours Sunday. Once we go to the taste of the subject, depth of the subject, definitely automatically people habituate to sit for 3 hours.
So this course is only for weekends, not on the weekdays?
Only for weekends. Only for weekends. My course is only weekends at present.
Okay, suits me then. Good, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you.
And
Then
the timing, sir, timing. Sorry, I forgot the timing. Timing is
9 a.m. 9 a.m. India time.
9 a.m. Indian time.
Yeah. Tomorrow
to 12.
also 9 a.m.
9
Tomorrow
a.m.
also
to
9.
12.
Yeah. Tomorrow is also 1.5 hour session.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow then. Bye. Thank you all.
Thank you.